Good afternoon, students. Welcome to our today's BoS Board of Studies Success session for Success. Students, this session is on financial reporting, final paper 1, and it targets the students who are going to appear for your November 2024 examination. Okay, so we'll be having two webinars for our students. This is the first in the series. So that's why this is series 1, and because in the morning we already have a advanced financial management session, so it's session 2. Okay, so we are having this session for financial reporting, and students who are going to appear for November 2024 examination may attend this session. They are mainly useful for them. However, the students who are going to who are going to appear for exams beyond November 2024, they can also go through this webinar session. Okay. One more thing, students, since I'm having a bad throat, so kindly excuse me in case you feel that I'm not audible or my voice there's lack of clarity, you can ask me and I'll repeat the content. Okay. Okay, students. First of all, I believe that those who are attending this session are first time attempting for November 2024 examination. And in such a case, will be they are curious to understand what will be the question paper pattern and what is the logic behind that question paper. So first, what we'll try to explain you is what is the pattern of the question paper and the reason why this kind of question paper is going to appear this has come for your May 24 examination, and similar pattern will be applicable for November 24 examination. So let's start with this question paper pattern. Okay, students. So first of all, let's understand what is the question paper pattern. Earlier in financial reporting, in the old scheme, in the erstwhile scheme, we were not having any multiple choice questions. It was 100% descriptive questions. Now, under this new scheme, which has been launched from July 23 and first exam also appeared, has taken place in May 24 examination. Now, we are having two manner of assessment. One is your objective type questions and another is your descriptive questions. So, a ratio has been defined for both the portion. For objective type question paper, or we can say for multiple choice question, it will not be an independent MCQ. It will be either case scenario based or it will be case led based. So that portion will be of 30%. Okay. And there will be no internal choice. There will be no external choice. You have to attempt all the case scenarios and the MCQs flowing from those case scenarios or the MCQs flowing from the case led. Okay, so all are mandatory. Next is your descriptive part. In your descriptive part, there are 70% is allocated to your descriptive portion, being a practical paper, and this paper not only judge your numerical skill, arithmetical skill, your conceptual skill, it will also test your application and analysis skill. It will also test your evaluation and synthesis skill. So higher percentages for descriptive questions. Descriptive questions will be having overall 6 questions of 14 marks. So 6 into 14, we will be having 84 marks in total. This 84 marks does not include the internal choice. In one of the questions, out of first question, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, in one of the question, there'll be internal choice. But definitely that internal choice will not be in your first question. Reason behind, because first question is not optional question. It is your mandatory question. So first question will be mandatory. So no internal choice will be given in your first question. It will be from your question number 2 to 6, out of which you have to do any 4 questions. In those 4 questions, there may be one internal choice. Internal choice means in any sub part. Not it's that internal choice is for question number 2 and again you'll be having another question 2. There'll be question 2A, 2B, and the internal choice may be either with 2A or either with 2B. This is just an example, illustrative. Okay. So I'm not counting that illustrative portion here, internal choice here, because that will belong to your same section. Fine. So we are not considering that. Otherwise, it may be of 89 marks, 88 marks, or maybe your internal choice may be of 4 marks, 5 marks, 6 marks. Generally, it comes of lesser value. So 4, 5, or 6, it may come to 88, 89, 90 marks. So total paper will be of 30 marks MCQs plus your 84 marks Descriptive. So total your 114 marks paper will appear in comparison to what was there in the old scheme. Earlier in the old scheme, you were having a paper of 120 marks. With internal choice, it runs somewhere of 124 or 125 marks. Instead of that 124 or 125, it will be now 118 or something, or 120 instead of 120, it will be now 114 marks paper. Hope you have got this. Okay. Okay, student Mansa is asking something. Mansa, I'll come back to it. Let me just complete this first, this brief understanding of what is the question paper and all. Then I'll come back to your query. Okay. So hope this is clear. This will be the paper pattern. Out of 6, 5 is required to be completed. There will be one internal choice from same section. Okay, student. Now, since I have already told that we'll be having two manner of assessment, one is for multiple choice question and another is for a descriptive question. So, since this 30% is mandatory and there is no internal choice, but at the same time, we have to comply with they have to comply with the section-wise weightage, and the section-wise weightage is for each section. So, we believe that in the question paper, which is set by the examination department, this section-wise compliance will take place independently for your MCQ section also and for your descriptive question also. For objective type questions also, this compliance of section-wise weightage for each topic will be taken care of and will be taken care of for your descriptive questions independently. And in case there is not there, it will be in entirety. In case there is no compliance independently for division A, that is for your multiple choice question, and division B descriptive question, but for sure it will be for your entire paper, that is completely for 114 marks, the compliance will be there. And that is the reason we are also given the compliance in totals. Okay. Hope it is clear. We are saying we are going to have a paper of 114 marks. So for 114 marks, you will be having 10% as minimum for section 1 and you will be having 15% maximum for section 1. So 10% comes to somewhere 11.4. 11.4 I have rounded off to 12 marks. 15% comes to somewhere of around 17 marks. No? Similarly, in the rounded form. So this is what is the range for entire paper. If individually the manner of assessment division wise it is not complied, it will be complied your in entirety. For every section, this is important. So I request all the participants who are there to check this out and just keep this in mind that, okay, I'm just going through any question is there or not, and check it out. In case there is not compliance, you can check it out. In case you feel that how to study, how to prepare, what importance to be given to particular section, you can go through this chart. Okay. This is the chart which will help you in focusing or laying emphasis on each section and the topics within that section. I hope this chart is clear. Students, any query, if it is coming to your mind, even the silliest one, regarding your preparation or any query regarding your subject, you can ask me. This is the forum which is meant for you all to resolve all your queries. So in case you are having any query which you feel like how to ask, even that, please ask it. Na? I'm there to resolve it. Okay. Next part. After the paper pattern, now we understand what is section-wise weightage and what are the sections. As we have already mentioned here, these are the sections. We have given 8 sections to the entire syllabus of financial reporting. We have divided the entire syllabus of financial reporting into 8 sections. And for each section, this is the table which will define what covers in each section. Like for section 1, this is your section 1. And for this section 1, we are having only 10 to 15% weightage. And for this 10 to 15% weightage, what are the topics which are covered in section 1 are First is the introduction to general purpose financial statements. What are Indian accounting standards? How they have been framed? How to study? What is the purpose of giving the standards paragraphs in bold? What is the purpose of giving unbold paragraph? What is the purpose of giving appendix to the Indias? Everything is explained in this chapter. Okay, this is an introductory chapter, and it also gives you an idea when to apply for Indian accounting standard for an entity. What are the statutory requirements to apply for Ind AS? What are the supporting materials like guidance note, your schedule 3 division 2, which will be applicable to you for this, for preparing financial statements based on Ind AS, and guidances from where you can fetch it out besides the study material, besides the explanation which is given for Ind AS. That is all details are given in this chapter. So this is an introductory chapter, but it will broaden your horizon. It will create interest for you all to understand and to start studying for Ind AS. I believe at this point of time, you have already gone through your study material revision, but still, those who are not going to attempt for November 24, but still going through the session, they can take it this as a concern. What is the purpose of this chapter? Now, second is your conceptual framework for financial reporting under Indian accounting standard. For any Indian accounting, for any accounting standard, there'll always be a framework. Based on those framework, based on that particular boundaries, a standard is formulated. So what is the basis for the formulation of the standard? What, and any guidance which is not given in the standard, but still you are facing that issue, you can go through these conceptual framework. They will give you a broad reply or broad resolution for what new scenario which you have not come across, which you are not able to resolve through a particular Ind AS, that you can resolve through conceptual framework. So this framework helps in the paper setters, accounting standards, setters of the accounting standards, to how to and on what basis they should formulate Indian accounting standards. So this is the conceptual framework only meant for Indian accounting, so for framework for financial reporting under Indian accounting standard. Okay, this will give you the details about the financial statement. What are the qualities which a financial statement should correct? What are the characteristics which a financial statement should have? Who are the users of the financial statements? What are the limitations within which a standard is formulated? Every information based within that boundaries, what the boundaries are given in this conceptual framework. Okay. Okay. After that, we'll be having within the same section 1 only, we'll be having one more topic, that is application of Ind AS with reference to general purpose financial statements. But we have categorized the entire Indian accounting standard right now at present. Today, we are standing on 23rd September 2024. We are having 39 Ind AS. 39. Recently, we have new Ind AS has been notified, but that Ind AS has replaced the existing Ind AS 104. New Ind AS 117 has been notified on 12th August, and that has repealed your Ind AS 104. Both the terms, the name of the title of the Ind AS was insurance contract. But since it has repealed Ind AS 104, so again we are having 39 Ind AS only. Okay. Insurance contract was earlier also not applicable to you for financial reporting paper, and at present also it is not applicable to you for your financial reporting paper, because it is an industry specific standard and we had not made applicable for your May 24. And however, for November 24, it is cutoff date is for any new standard to be applicable for any examination. It has to be at least 1 year prior to your examination to be issued or notified. Since the standard 117, Ind AS 117 has been notified on 12th August 2024, so your 1 year will complete on 12th August 2025. So it means it won't be applicable for your November examination. It will not be applicable for your May 25 examination as well. For November 25, based on the cutoff date, yes, it is applicable, but because of its industry specific standard and guidances, we are excluding or will be excluding it through this study guidelines. So study guidelines will also be applicable to you. We'll discuss in the later part of the session. So right now I'm just telling you, we are having 39 Ind AS, and certain, every Ind AS have been grouped or classified under particular category. And based on that category, we have divided into different sections. We have just placed them in different sections, and accordingly we have given the weightage based on the importance, based on the relevance, based on the discussions we have covered in the study material. Okay. So this section 1 will, besides introductory chapter, besides conceptual framework, will cover your Indias on presentation of items of Indias based on presentation of items in the financial statement, Indias on measurement based on accounting policies. Okay, these two subsections, and under two subsections or topics of the syllabus, will be covering Ind AS 1, Ind AS 34, Ind AS 7, 8, 10, 113. And so there'll be 1, 2, 3, 6 standards are covered besides your conceptual framework. And similarly, we'll be having section 2 that is completely on one standard, that is Ind AS 115. Okay, so first section is having 6 standards, second section is having only one standard, but that standard is huge and more technical, so it covers only one section. Similarly, we'll be having section 3, that is assets and liability based. In comparison to other standards, they are technically easy, because more or less accounting standards and Indian accounting standards based on assets and liabilities are more or less similar in the line. So students have already studied those standards at intermediate level. So those, when they are studying in the form of Ind AS at final level, they may not find so difficult, and they are technically easy to understand also. So that's why we have clubbed them in one section, section 3. And weightage, however, because it is carrying good number of standards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. So 10 standards are there in this section, or in this section 3. That's why the percentage is 15 to 25%. Okay. Okay, students, Mansa, you are asking technical questions. Let me cover. I'll come back to your queries. Okay, Ind AS on items impacting financial statements. Again, this is section 4, which carries your two standards under items impacting the financial statements, and disclosures on financial statements. There we are covering 3 standards. Okay, so there are in total 5 standards, plus we are having other Ind AS also. So 5 plus 3, 8 standards. So section 4 again covers 8 Ind AS. So we are having section 3, which covers 10 standard. We are having section 2, which covers 1 standard. Section 1, which covers your 6 standards. And here in your section 4, we covers 8 standards. Okay. Then we are having section 5, which is on financial instrument. There are 3 standards on financial instruments. One which tells you your classification, other which tells you about your presentation. Both covers your accounting part also. And third is which covers your disclosure part. Any Indian accounting standard deals with 4 aspects, that is recognition, measurement, presentation, and disclosure. So there's a separate standard in financial instrument for disclosure. Besides that, there are certain disclosures mentioned here and there in your Ind AS 32 and 109 also. And again, we'll be having your recognition, measurement, and your presentation. These are covered in your Ind AS 32 and Ind AS 109. So this section covers only 3 Ind AS, but again, highly technical. So that's why they have only 3 standards in particular in this section 5. In your Ind AS on group accounting, that is on consolidation, your business combination, separate financial statements, accounting, your separate financial statements covering your consolidated financial statements, covering equity method for associates and joint venture. What is the accounting treatment for associates and joint venture? All is covered in your section 6. Okay. So again, will be having 5 plus 6 standards. First time adoption of Indian accounting standard, they are moving to section 7. There we are having only one Ind AS, that is Ind AS 101, but it also covers analysis of financial statement, and analysis of financial statement covers all your 39 Ind AS, excluding 4 Ind AS, which we have excluded to study guidelines. So this is your section 7, and section 8 is a newly introduced section, or I can say the topics within this section are newly introduced, and they are ethics with accounting concepts and technology in accounting. The weightage is only 5 to 10% because these are small chapters, and whatever you have studied from your earlier sections that will be tested along with your professional ethics. And ethics are covered in your auditing paper also and here also. So you have to simply do the accounting. You should be aware of the correct accounting treatment and the consequences if you are not complying with the correct accounting treatment. That is what is covered in your this financial reporting paper. Okay. Now study guidelines. As we were discussing, the syllabus of financial reporting covers your Indian accounting standards. There is no specific mention for how many Indias is covered. So on prima facie, you'll find that entire all 39 Indias is applicable. But since Indias are technical and huge, we have excluded few Indias. We have excluded some Indias from your syllabus, and that syllabus, it has been excluded by way of study guidelines. So in total, 4 Indias are completely not applicable to you for November 24 examination. And within some Indias, that Indias is applicable to you, but within that some Indias, certain appendices or certain guidances are not applicable. So let us see that 4 Indias which are completely excluded from your for students or exempted to prepare is 29, 104, 106 and 114. For this 104, there's a new standard which will be applicable, 117, but it will be applicable from November 25 examination. Meanwhile, 104 will be applicable, and for 104, this has been excluded from for your preparation through study guidelines. However, India 16, India 37, they are applicable to you, very much applicable, and they are covered under section 3. But within these 2 Indias, there are certain appendices which we have made it not applicable, and these are the appendixes. Okay. In India 37, Appendix A and Appendix B, and in India 16, Appendix B. This we have excluded by study guidelines, and you are not supposed to study these 3 appendices for your examination. Okay. Okay. Now, list of topic-wise exclusion from the syllabus. Now, this time you must have seen in the study material. Besides differences between accounting standards and Indian accounting standards, at some places we have also mentioned at some places we have also mentioned what are the topics what are the differences after a particular interpretation or after some accounting treatment. We have mentioned there is a contradictory accounting treatment in accounting standard. Though our entire syllabus is Indian accounting standard, but at some places where the difference is stark, we have mentioned it in your study material that their accounting treatment is having a different treatment. So 4 major difference standards are AS7, 9, based on which we have India's 115, AS19, based on which we have India's 116, and again for AS22, we have India's 12. These are major, entirely different standards. That's why for these standards, accounting standards may say questions, the questions may be asked on accounting standards also, but it will only cover those difference part, not the entire accounting of those prescribed in that particular accounting standard will be tested, but difference part for that accounting question may be asked in your examination. So take care of this also. From where to prepare. So students, already you have started your preparation, but at this point of time, your preparation should focus on these 2 parts. Okay. And at the end, this may also be referred. Okay. But when you start your preparation, if you are not sitting for your November 24 examination, you are going to appear for May 25 or later on, then go through the study material. Also solve the MCQ paper practice portal. There you'll be having 2 types of questions. One will be independent MCQs. And second, you'll be having case scenario based MCQs. Okay. Independent MCQs will help you in understanding how much conceptual clarity you possess and where you are standing, how much you are clear about particular standard or particular chapter, that you can assess through independent MCQs. But that type of questions may not be appearing in your examination. The questions which may appear in examination may be on case scenario based. So this will give you a hands-on practice for your main examination, case scenario based MCQs. But I suggest you first go with the independent MCQs. This will help you in assessing your preparation level, your conceptual clarity, which is the must for this particular paper. And then go through case scenarios for preparation level. Okay. These are when you are doing your preparations. Okay. When you are going for your first round of study, or after going through first round of study, you can start with, after going through first round of study, you can test this also as a test your knowledge based. Okay. This is from, this will help you as note also. This will help you as notes. This will help you as summary. This will help you as for easy retention. And this will also help you for last mile, last minute reference. Okay. So we can consider Saransh as notes. We can consider Saransh as summary of all Indias. We can consider Saransh as easy for easy retention, since it is given in the form of pictorials. It is in the form of presented table, colorful charts, flow charts. So these are for easy retention, and they are also helping you in your last minute reference or last minute revision. Okay. Then comes your, this is basically second round of your, this is for your second in every round, but this RTP comes your second round of revision. In your second round of revision, definitely you will not go for entire study. You must have marked out some questions which you feel they are easy and that you were able to do it in the first go. Definitely you will eliminate them for your second round of study. And in your for your second round of study, you have marked certain questions which were difficult or which were tricky, and you found it good for practice, and you were not, either you were not able to do it, or you were not able to do it completely, or you were finding it that this question carries good number of illustrations or adjustments, and this may appear in your examination. So those questions you have to mark it out in your first round of study, and that first round of study will help you in doing your second round of study, that you will do only those practice of only those questions which you have marked out. Okay. Besides your those marked out questions, go through the RTPs also. In RTP, we are having entirely new questions. So what will happen? That new questions will give you a new feel. Questions are difficult when you are seeing it for the first time, and that also helps you in understanding something which is asked beyond study material, but it is forming part of the syllabus. Then are you able to do it? If yes, then you are having a good preparation. If you are not able to do it, or you are facing challenges or struggling to solve those questions, then you need to brush up your concepts again. So RTP help you in evaluation, because RTP gives you sufficient time to again go back to the study material, brush up your concepts so that you are ready with for your examination. In your third round of study, you should go with suggested answers and mock test papers. Suggested answers and mock test papers will help you for your for appearing in your examination. Under examination conditions, you can appear on for these question papers. Suggested answers are previous examinations questions and their solutions, and mock test papers are given to you to attempt those under examination conditions. Sorry, huh? When you appear for mock test papers under examination condition, you'll find that how much you are able to do the time management within those 3 hours. Honestly, when you are doing it, how much you are able to retain what you have studied in your first round of study, during your second round of study, how much you have retained, how much you have to understand and apprehend, and based on that, how much you are able to perform. So this suggested answer and these MTP series 1 and series 2 are must to do. Okay. Mock test paper should be done under examination conditions only. And once you complete it, please cross-check your solution with the answers appearing uh, 2 days after or after 36 hours or something. It will again be web hosted. Answers will also be web hosted. You can compare your solution with the web hosted answers. Okay. Now, after mock test paper, if you feel that you have not done it 100%, you are not able to perform better, please do self introspection. This is very, very, very important. You need to self introspect where you failed, where you faltered, and categorize your fault. Categorize your fault into 2 or 3 sections as much you can see. Are you able to solve the question which you have already studied? Yes. And if yes, then what was the problem you were facing doing that? Either it was speed or you were not facing any problem. You're not facing any problem, it's okay. Well and good, fair enough. But if you are facing any problem, then what kind of problem were you facing? You were not able to remember the concepts, you were not able to focus on some of the adjustments, or you were not able to complete it. Or that is, we say, scarcity of time. So in that case, if you were not able to complete the question paper because of scarcity of time, it means you need to do more and more written practice, and you need to increase your speed. So that is one introspection which you did, and based on that, you can work out on that particular area. Second is, you have already studied that concept, but when it came in your examination, you were not able to solve it. So it means somewhere conceptual clarity is lacking. And when conceptual clarity is lacking, you are again supposed to go through that particular concept. You are again supposed to go to that particular chapter, check the accounting treatment, check the explanation, and then again come back to that question. Now, after revising it, are you able to do it or not? Independently, without referring to the solution. Third category, you remembered everything, but still you made some silly mistakes in your mock test paper. If you did that, it means again you have to go for a written practice, because written practice will help in your mind and hand coordination. And when there will be mind and hand coordination, something which you are thinking, that only you'll be writing also. If you are not able to do that, then you will be somewhere making silly mistakes, like calculation mistakes. Instead of writing 52, you wrote 25. Such type of silly mistakes. You are not able to copy the figures from left and back page, previous page to the next page. This type of errors occur only when you are not having concentration, or you have not done enough written practice. So these are broad categories where your self introspection is required, because when you understand that, then only you'll be able to work out. You should understand what is your gray area and where to work out, how much to work out on that particular gray area to improve that. So this is much in every competitive exams, in every professional examination. This is must, and you have to do it. Appear in as good number of mock test papers you can do. In as good. We released 2 mock test papers for this November 24 examination. Even for your May 24 examination also, we had 2 mock test papers. If we can fetch it from somewhere, take it out. Otherwise, you have this, you can buy it from the paper, you'll get it everywhere. So you should appear in good number of mock test papers, but definitely after 2 rounds of study, minimum 2 rounds of study. Okay, because Indian accounting standards requires 2 rounds of study. Okay. This we have already discussed. Last minute revision I have covered with the previous slide. Saransh also I have mentioned you. We have given a booklet. It is also there on the website. Okay. One thing, students, which is very important, is do not do selective studies. This is very, very important, which I find, because the study material is voluminous, your syllabus is huge. Students tend to do selective study. They tend to skip certain NDAs, but NDAs are more or less interconnected. It is not that if you study NDAs 2, then it is only NDAs 2. You won't use the concepts discussed in NDAs 2 anywhere. It is not like that. So what you have to do is that you have to study all NDAs which is relevant to you and given in your study material. This will help you at the end in integration. Where do we require the integration? If you remember, when we have discussed the section-wise weightage, there we mentioned analysis of financial statement. We discussed ethics and accounting wala chapter. Okay. And both the chapters fall in two different sections. In analysis of financial statements, once you have gone through all Indias, you have a good understanding of all Indias, you are supposed to now make the transition. Indias 101 will be applicable. And after doing even Indias 101, after understanding transition process, you will be preparing a financial statements, or anybody else has prepared a financial statement and you have to check it out, because basically as a profession, as a chartered accountant, you are an auditor. So whatever financial statement has been prepared by the management, you have to audit that. So to develop that skill, this chapter will help you. Analysis of financial statement. From in your financial reporting paper, this is covered from the compliance perspective. Okay. Now, for compliance perspective, you should be aware of all Indias. So integration of all those Indias is required in one particular chapter. So that's why selective study will not help. For selective study, it may happen that, for example, you have skipped India's 23 borrowing cost. Now, when you are preparing a financial statement, there is a qualifying asset. And you are not aware of borrowing cost, you are not aware of qualifying asset, but you are aware of property, plant, and equipment. And that was the year where the acquisition took place for that particular property or plant or equipment. In that case, what would you do? You're not aware of India's 23, so you would not you may skip capitalizing your borrowing cost related to that qualifying asset for that qualifying period, construction period. So that is the reason you should be having the knowledge of all Indian accounting standards and do not go for any selective study, because they are interconnected somewhere, one or the other place. For example, you are going, again, I give another example. You are in your doing business combination. For business combination, you have to go for an identifiable assets. You identify the assets which you are acquiring, or you are identifying the liabilities which you are acquiring. It may happen that there are certain assets or liabilities which are not appearing in the uh, balance sheet or in the financial statements of the acquiree. But when an acquirer acquires that particular entity, at that time they find that this is also an asset, and it carries a it carries fair value, or it carries a value, and that will be of benefit to them, economically benefit, that will give an economic benefit to the acquiring entity. So they will take it into account. But if you're not aware of that this it is a liability or not, it is what is the valuation should have been done based on that respective standard, and now at the time of acquisition, how to take the accounting. For example, you are having a share-based payment. The share-based payment, instead of that share-based payment, I am replacing it with my share-based payment. How to do it? So this you have to check it out. Okay. So you need that understanding of share-based payment independently in 102, and then only you'll be able to apply it for your 103 as well. Okay. For chartered accountants, you may have listened from somebody that they are difficult, and some may say that is not difficult. So what is the difference in those two opinions? One find it very easy, and one do not find it one find it very easy, and one find it very difficult. What is the reason? The reason is in their planning. Reason is there in their continuity. Reason is there in their consistency. Okay, and the correct material to study. So planning without execution is of no purpose, and execution without planning, that will also not help you in a long way. So for any kind of professional examination, hard work, continuity, and consistency from the very beginning, ab initio, is required. If you are, for example, for final paper, after intermediate, you'll get 2.5 years, and but you think that there is 2.5 years left. I have sufficient time to go for. I'll start my studies after 1 year or after 1.5 year. Then you are completely wrong. For final level, if you get the study material, you see there are so many modules in each every subject. So it means there's something has been planned or given the thought, then only then only 2.5 years gap has been given between intermediate and final. So start your study day one. You receive the study material. You have registered for your final examination. Sorry, not examination, for final course. You are registered for final course. As soon as you get the study material, start with your preparation and be continuous, consistent. Consistent means 3 hours. If you are studying every day for 2.5 years, who is going to stop you to score marks? Nobody can do that. Okay. 3 hours of daily study, effective study, and daily study. Daily study is what I am saying is continuity. You have to maintain that. 3 hours maximum it will be. If you are start doing it from day one and you're having 2.5 years, if you are having lesser period, definitely you have to increase your hours. And obviously, during examination period, closer to examination period, you have to increase the hours. That is because you have to, whatever you have studied in a slow pace during this 2 years, that you have to comprehend in your 6 months, last 6 months. So definitely in 6 months, last 6 months, you have to increase your number of hours. But if you start your study at the end, so even if you study for 24 hours, even if you don't sleep, you won't be able to complete it, because at final level you have a good number of subjects, topics, and coverage, and also the difficulty level is high. You have to go for advanced preparation. Advanced knowledge is expected from you. So please be consistent from the very beginning. Okay. If you start your, these all are interconnected with, since if you start your studies from the very beginning, you are continuous, you are consistent, then you'll always be positive because you'll be confident. And when you are confident, you are positive, you will be having a healthy mind. Okay. And if you start from the very beginning, you'll always be having time for this also. And this will maintain your mental and physical health. So this is important. Okay. With any examination, anybody, any professor, any mentor of any examination, not only chartered accountancy, in any exam, everybody will advise you should have some hours, some time in your planning schedule for this thing. Don't ignore this. Okay. In short run, you may not understand the impact of this. You may not understand the importance of this, but in long run, it helps, especially when you'll come to a later stage of point and you realize why should I have not given that importance? Why have not I given that importance at that point of time? So don't just rely on what your uh, elders are giving to you, what your seniors are giving to you, what your mentors or your principal is giving you. Everybody will advise that please take care of your health. Also, meditate. This will increase your concentration power. This will increase your memory power also. Okay. Okay, for examination, this what we have done, how to prepare. Now we are seeing how tips for examination. For tips for examination, how to improve marks in the examination. First, write the answer which you know the best. This is, you are given 15 minutes of time, reading time. Definitely in that 15 minutes of reading time, you won't be given MCQ paper. You will be given only descriptive question part. Okay, but that is also well enough to plan your, at least for 70 marks paper, you can plan your which question to be done first, in which question you are more confident, which question you need to eliminate or skip. Out of 6, you have to eliminate or skip one. Na? So which question you are not going to attempt, everything you can decide or plan in those 15 minutes. Have a glance of the question paper. You know what, in which chapter you are comfortable, you know in which chapter you have you are confident, in you know in which chapter you have not done the preparation or you have skipped it. Everything you know you about yourself. Be honest, huh? And based on that, decide which question you have to do it first, which question you will be doing second, third, or which question you will be not be doing. Or if you are not able to do two questions, so which two attempt, if time permits at the end. Okay. So that all decision or that all planning is to be done though in those 15 minutes. So those 15 minutes are very crucial, very, very crucial, because it will give a base to your execution. Okay. For 3 hours. In those 3 hours, you will be doing executing what you have planned. Okay. This is very common guidance or tips which is given. Write it in a very legible manner. Your handwriting should be clear so that examiner is evaluating your answers. So they should be aware of what you are written. It should not be very messy. Students, it should not, your answer sheet should not give any headache to the examiner. They should give a smile to the examiner. Yes, this is good answer sheet which has come to me for checking. How clearly they have written, and whatever they have written, it's also correct. And this, I am able to read it. It looks to be good. It gives an impression. It leaves an impression. It will give you an edge. Okay, so handwriting should be legible. Maintain your speed. सुंदर बनाने के चक्कर में छोड़ मत देना, फिर वो कोई फायदा नहीं ना. So maintain your speed while writing the answers. Answer the question with due emphasis on the provisions of Ind AS. Due emphasis on the provisions of Ind AS. In case you are not aware of the para number, no need to mention it. Para numbers are not expected. I cannot expect to remember all para numbers of all 39 Ind AS or all 35 Ind AS which are applicable to you. No, it is not, next to impossible. So nobody is expecting that. Not even the examiner, not even the paper setter, nobody's. So no need to mention the para number. If you remember the para number, very confident, very sure, then you mention, it will give the edge, but it will not penalize you for not mentioning. Okay, so you can skip that. Also, if you are not remembering the standard number or the title of the standard, as per the standard, as per Indian Accounting Standard, you can start your answer with that. Okay. Attempt all the subparts at one place. This is also a common guidelines every paper faculty will be giving to you, that if you are doing 1A, then give 1B also after 1A. And if you are not going to attempt 1B right now because you feel you are not very sure, you may attempt it at the end. Leave sufficient space for that 1B after 1A. Okay. You may come back. If you feel that this 1B, though I'm not able to attempt it, I'm not very sure, but maximum what will happen? It will take half page or it will take 1 page, leave 1.5 page. So, okay. No need that key. If you think it will be half page and you have left 1.5 page and you have done some crime, you can simply strike it out. If the balance blank page, okay. So leaving maximum page, more than what you are expecting or what you have estimated is completely okay. Okay. State the assumptions. Generally, what now you are seeing in the question paper is that they are trying to cover all the assumptions. They are trying to be clear in your question paper. Every information is given so that students are not required to take any assumption. But still, you feel any logical assumption, there is a scope of any logical assumption, you can take it. But whatever you take, please mention in your solution. Okay. How to manage time in the examination? I already told you, wisely use your extra 15 minutes before the start of the examination to read the question paper. Utilize that 15 minutes for planning, which to be done, which not to be done. This I've already covered. Mark the question which you know the best. Allocate an estimated time for each question based on their difficulty level. Yes, those 15 minutes should also include this also. Every question, how much time you are going to allocate to devote. Okay, say if you are having question 1 compulsory and you are sure that you know the solution and you'll be able to do it, but that question is of 14 marks. So how much time you should give to this particular question and you have to complete it. This is possible only when you are doing written practice before examination, during preparation time. If you do written practice, you'll be able to correctly estimate how much time this question requires, and based on marks, how much time should I devote. And if I feel there are more number of adjustments, but it is a question of 14 marks, instead of say 25 minutes, it will take 28 or 30 minutes. Fine, I'll devote 30 minutes. And in this particular question, in second, say for question 3A, there, if time required is 7 minutes, I'll cut it down to 6 minutes. And another question, their time is required 10 minutes, I'll try to cut it down to 9 minutes. But estimation is required and you have to adhere with. Okay, stick to your estimation and planning. Okay. How to manage time in the examination? Again, that's 15 minutes time is crucial and that will help you in managing, giving you a right start. Right start will kick and will also give you a confidence, will boost your morale, because you know the answer, best answer you are attempting first. So it will definitely, and once you complete it, you'll be confident that you have completed this much marks and you are pretty sure that you have done it correctly. Okay. Specific points to be taken care of while preparing for the examination. Again, do not go for elective study. Most of the Indians are largely interconnected. This already I have completed. Do to complete study of all topics, students would be able to gain confidence. This have I already covered. These are keys to your understanding. Okay. Written practice of both numerical and theoretical questions. Students, all questions in your Indian Accounting Standard study material, in your financial reporting study material is a practical question. Except two chapters, one accounting and technology, some questions, and in your conceptual framework or in your introductory chapter, where we are discussing in this all the questions which deals with the application of the provisions discussed in Indian Accounting Standard. They are all practical questions. Practical does not mean numerical. This is the biggest misconception that everybody is having. Numerical question is a practical question and all others are theoretical questions. No, all questions are practical questions if it involves application of accounting standards, if it involves your application and analysis, and based on that you have to arrive at conclusion. You have to give any opinion, and your opinion is in the form of technical opinion. Even it is in the form of theory, still it is applicable to you and it is a practical question to you, because this paper today accounting tools are there, beta. Tally, Power BI, they all will help you in accounting. So plus minus karna, debit credit karna, the software will do. So what is your role? Your role is of highly expertise, technical expertise, and that will be giving you a job of consultancy, giving an opinion. Obvious execution will always be there. It is never 100% only consultation, just to have to speak blah blah and over. No, you have to do execution also, but only after application of well-informed mind. Okay. So now this paper will help you in preparation of that kind of job, consultant job. So even it is a theoretical answer, but if it involves evaluation and synthesis, it is a practical question, not a theory question. You have to take care of that. Okay. Written practice, again, it will help you in time management, gain speed, better hand and mind coordination, and their manner of expression in writing. Even for those practical questions where your answers are in the form of theoretical answer, please revise it, because what happens if your study material is carrying one full page of answer, written theoretical answer, when you are practicing, you will find that you have only done a paragraph. Only a paragraph. You would not be able to reproduce full page. You're not expected also to write it word by word, but even if you write in your own word, you won't be able to give one page answer. So at the time of practice, if you are not doing written practice, in the examination, this will happen. You'll be limiting yourself to few lines or maximum one paragraph. But if you go for written practice at the time of your first round of study or your second round of study, what will happen? First, you'll be from one page से एक paragraph होगा, but with written practice, with over the period, that written practice will help you to at least come to 3/4 page. Okay, so for theoretical replies of practical questions, you'll be able to write somewhere 3/4 page. It means in the examination, during examination, even if you have short of time, then still you'll be full of mean content, important key points. Okay, and that will help you in your scoring marks. You'll be able to write two paragraphs, three paragraphs, or 3/4 page in your examination also. So written practice of even the theoretical question is must for this paper, because this paper is not going to check your arithmetical accuracy. This paper is not going to check your debit credit understanding. This paper is not going to check your accounting treatment. This is going to check your opinions also. How much you are able to apply the new scenarios within the framework of the guidance given in the standard. Okay. Few errors which may happen intentionally or unintentionally is basically is your calculation errors. This will also be avoided with the help of your written practice and good number of practice of questions. Okay. Different kind of questions you should prepare, because difficulty levels, it is not because the question is difficult. Difficulty level arises sometimes because the question is new. You have not seen that question before, though it applies simple guidance, but you may find it challenging or struggling in the first go. After coming with across the solution, when you see the solution, अच्छा इसमें तो इतना ही था, but still the very first impression will be that ये कहाँ से आ गया, है ना? ये तो ऐसा कभी किया नहीं. We have never done this type of question. To overcome this, try to practice new variety of questions. Okay. Refer to your notes. Notes maybe in the form of underlining the study material, maybe in the form of something which you are writing in your own language, in the form of flowcharts, or in the form of saransh, which is already provided to you. Okay. This is important during examination. For questions which require formats like financial statements, consolidated financial statements, business combinations, in those situations, please use proper format. Proper format for your this financial reporting paper is Division 2 to Schedule 3. What is Division 2 to Schedule 3? Under Schedule 3 carries format for financial statements which corporate entities are required to prepare. Now, corporate entities are having two set of accounting standards and Indian accounting standards. For accounting standard, there is a different format. For Indian accounting standard, there is a different format. For this financial reporting paper, you are supposed to prepare your financial statements based on Indian accounting standard. And for that, there is a different format which is given in your Division 2 to Schedule 3, okay, of the Companies Act 2013. So to that schedule, you have to comply with the division formats given in Division 2 to Schedule 3, which is based on Indian accounting standard. Adequate working notes are required. There are many calculations which you do it on your calculator, but they require plus, minus, taking from another working note, deriving it from another working note. So whatever you do it on your calculator, if it requires more than 3-4 adjustments, or it requires more than it requires 2-3 adjustments or more, you have to reproduce as a working note in your solution. Okay. Working notes may be given at the beginning and then you come to the main requirement of the question, or you just leave space for the balance sheet or for the main part and give the working note at the end. In examination, it doesn't matter. You can start with your working note also. Hardly matters, huh? So examiner is not going to deduct any mark for that. For suggested answer, we follow a standardized format. But in examination, we understand that during 3 hours, you have to complete your answer sheet. So if we even for preparation of financial statements, you need proper format. But for giving the solution, for presenting the solution, that whether to give first working note or at the end, that is completely your choice, and both will fetch marks. Okay. There are some typical errors which are there, which students face, and we'll try, let's discuss that also. What we observed, what examiners who are checking the answer sheets, they observe that lack of study, in-depth study. The answers are vague. They are not to the point. Their answers do not reflect that they understand that standard. And how will, so this type of observations the examiners have found when they have evaluated the answer sheets of students. Okay, how to overcome that? Overcome again, written practice. There are certain key terms. Every standard has some key terms, and those key terms, usage of those key terms should be there in your answer. It is required. This shows your understanding. This shows your the importance you have laid to those key terms when you studied those standards. Okay, so those key terms should reflect in your answers. For example, when you are doing India's 23, so you are using why on this particular asset you are capitalizing the borrowing cost, because that is a qualifying asset. And if it is a qualifying asset, that term qualifying asset should be mentioned or should be there somewhere in your answer. Okay, so it will show your understanding that yes, you know what is simple asset, you know what is qualifying asset, and you know what is non-qualifying asset. So when you are clear with the concept, that will reflect in your answer, and that reflection in your answer will transpire to the examiner. They'll understand that yes, you are aware of this, and accordingly you will be given replies. Okay. Okay, students, lack of focus in theoretical portion. Again, that's this very common observation which examiners give is that students try to avoid or skip theoretical questions or first compulsory question also in that way, because that is mandatory question, and sometimes it happens that they are not able to it is always consolidated financial statement or balance sheet में tally नहीं कर रही, so they generally skip that question or theory wale questions. Most of the students do not go for theory questions like conceptual framework, roadmap, applicability, or accounting and technology portion. Such type of questions student avoided because they was writing in theory. Okay, they are good with numbers but not with words. Okay, so you have to be both good in both numbers as well as for words also. Now I have more or less I've covered everything. Lack of complete knowledge of format, improper understanding of question. When you are reading the question, na, be very careful with the terminologies used. Each and every word in financial reporting paper is important. Somewhere it has importance and it may change the meaning or it may change the solution if we do not give due care. Okay. For example, 50% reduction, 50% by 50, this particular value of the asset is reduced by 50%, or this particular value of the asset is reduced to 50%. I'm giving 50%, so better say I say the asset has been reduced to 30%, or asset is reduced by 30%. There's only change of one word, to or by, but the meaning changed completely. There, in one case where we are saying asset is reduced to 30%, it means the total final value of that asset is 30% only. But in second case, your total final value of the asset will be 70%, not 30%, because your asset is reduced by 30%. So 100 minus 30, 70% is the remaining value. In first case, reduced to 30%, it means that is the remaining value. So each and every word in your financial reporting paper is important. And please be careful while reading. That is the requirement part of the question. Students, they come to us, ma'am, I have done completely, why have I not scored exam marks? See, we are not there to comment it, but yes, we'll help you what mistake you have done and what to take care of in your next attempt. Most of the time question में क्या है, the question carries two or three sub requirements, but students have done the one requirement. They checked, they compared with the suggested answer. They at the end they found, madam देखिए table में लिखा था कि 750 आना चाहिए, मेरा भी 750 आया. But to arrive at that 750, they were giving 2-3 more requirements were there. For example, recently in May 2024 examination, there was a question on 115 revenue from contacts with customer. Student came to me with a solution with their RTI से answer sheet निकाली थी, and they said I am unable to understand why I haven't scored full marks. The question was of 8 marks, but I have been given only 3 marks. I don't understand why my 5 marks had been deducted. The answer there is also the same thing and my answer. But what was the requirement of the question? Question requirement is how many performance obligation is there? Calculate the amount of each obligation. What she did, instead of giving the answer ki how many obligations are, that was completely missing in her solution. No first part was mentioned how many obligations are. She distributed the amount into those two obligations, but she missed to explain, write the answer. There are two obligations, why there are two performance obligations, and why they have been identified as two separate perform. No answer was given to that. But the requirement of the question was to identify the number of performance obligation in the above scenario, and then to appropriate to give the transaction price of both the thing. But first part was missing, but because second part was matching with the suggested answer, she said mera answer match kar raha hai, but still I did not get, because what she was matching only the calculation part. She was not matching the theory or the first full length of that solution. She was not checking, not comparing. Okay, so this type of mistake in general everybody do, but that is where they don't understand why marks have been deducted, but marks are deducted. So be attentive, be cautious with the requirement part of the question, and also the terms, verbs used for in the requirement part. For example, present. For example, give the accounting treatment. For example, explain. For example, determine. For example, it gives evaluate. For example, it gives recommend accounting treatment. Every terminology has different focus, different base of reply. So you have to take care of that. If it is said as give the accounting treatment, you have to give the accounting treatment. It may be more or less more on computation part. But if it says present, does it mean only accounting treatment? No. It also includes your presentation in your financial statement, either in your statement of profit and loss, either in your OCI, or either in your balance sheet. But yes, where it is going to be appear, where it is going to appear, under which head it is going to appear. If it is going to appear in balance sheet, whether it is going to appear in your non-current or in your current item, under current item, that is what present it mentions. Give the abstract or give in the form of explanation, but give the presentation. You have to explain the presentation. Okay. Sometimes it is mentioned discuss, but whatever we have done is when discuss or determine or some this is again explained or recommend. These type of terms are used as a requirement part of the question. What students generally do is that they understand that recommend means only to give the accounting treatment. No, you have to explain, you have to give the provisions also, you have to connect that provision with the scenario, give your conclusion also, and in the entire process, computation may be one of the part, but not the only part of the solution, but they tend to miss it. So requirement part of the question is very necessary to be complied with, and students do not understand and they lose marks. So improper understanding of question, this is most of the students do, and they lose marks on that. Okay. Improper time allocation for questions. Again, most common feedback after examination which you'll get from your peers, which you'll get from your mentors, your people, the teachers, that FR ka paper to lengthy aata hai. Why it is lengthy? Few people say this, and it is mouth spread is done to all those who are going to appear for the first time. But those who passed, those who scored rank, those who have become a chartered accountant now, ask them, was the paper lengthy? Or if you were already aware of that it was lengthy, how did you overcome that? Okay. Have you done the written practice? They always say yes. We have gone through the study material. We have done the written practice. We did not find that the paper was lengthy. We were able to complete all the questions within the 3 hours span of time. Okay. Why? Because they have done proper practice. They have completed their stage. They have not gone for any selective study. They have done a written practice. They have undertaken all the mock test papers. So they did not find any issue. So those who are saying paper is lengthy, so सिर्फ कहने से नहीं होगा ना, पता है अगर वो प्रॉब्लम है तो आप उस प्रॉब्लम का आपने क्या वे आउट निकाला कि आपके लिए वो प्रॉब्लम एग्जाम टाइम में वो प्रॉब्लम ना रह जाए। जो सबको प्रॉब्लम लगी, मुझे भी लगी, तो फिर क्या फायदा हुआ? पहले से पता था तब भी बना। नहीं, we say health is wealth, but how much understand and believe that health is wealth? You know health is wealth. This is a common phrase which is explained to you from the very beginning of school. Health is wealth. But only 30 to 40% people will nowadays understand that yes, we have health is wealth means fitness, physical fitness is also important, mental fitness is also important, then only you'll be able to achieve success. Rest of them, they only listen, yahan se suna, yahan se nikala. Don't do that. Okay. Similarly, if you feel that surroundings your nearby are saying that paper is lengthy, so yes, I have to also say paper is lengthy. No, don't fall into that crowd. Try to work on this so that you don't face that problem. Okay. These are typical errors conducted by the students in the numerical portion of the examination. Wrong mentioning of question number, presentation of working notes were not appropriate or were missing, copying of wrong figures, calculation mistakes. These are common errors. Na? Practical papers may this happens. So this will overcome only with good practice, with written practice and all. Okay. Okay, students, these are what already I have explained you. Lack of entire study, comprehensive study, lack of conceptual clarity, ignorance of barracks, lack of preparation of brief notes. These are must at the time of your first round and second round of study. But when you miss it out, you face problem in your third round of study or in your at the end starting of at the end study. Okay, if you do that. Okay, so these are the situations. This we have already discussed. I'm not going to discuss these things again. some do's and don'ts before and after preparing for the examination. This is also way. See, if you have studied everything, you have done a proper practice, you have done a written practice, you have you feel confident, then you will feel positive also. You will feel confident also because you have read everything. So 100 मार्क्स आप पढ़ के जाएंगे तो 100 मार्क्स का कर ही लेंगे. अगर 100 मार्क्स का भी नहीं करेंगे, 80 करेंगे तो सही होगा तभी कर रहे होंगे. तो आपको क्यों नहीं मिलेंगे? आप तो 60 में एग्जामेशन आ जाना है ना. So 60 में exam, if you want to score exemption, you want to do it fully, it means you have to study fully. Na? Okay? You have to study fully. Anything for the last minute? Take proper sleep a day before the exam. This will keep you fresh while writing your exam paper. So what is that? You have to, your planning should be in such that you have 2 rounds of studies and plus 2 rounds of revision. Do attempt number of mock test papers. Do's and don'ts are these are the before, and have a proper sleep before the day of examination. Don't try to stretch yourself day before examination. Be confident about your preparation, which you have started from day one. You are consistent and you have completed everything. एक बार आती है फीलिंग जिटनेस की, क्या होगा, कुछ याद भी है कि नहीं, कुछ भूल तो नहीं जाएंगे. दिस इज वेरी कॉमन थॉट प्रोसेस विच हैपेंस, बट ट्राई टू एंजॉय योर जिटनेस, ट्राई टू एंजॉय योर नर्वसनेस. दिस विल help you in not hampering your performance. Okay, have a decent meal, not very oily food, not very overeating or heavy food. Try to avoid that, but at the same time don't starve also. Okay. Do not don't come to the trap of negative people's negative thoughts, negative opinions. Don't come into the trap of social media. It will be, you won't even realize how much time you waste in your social media. आप सोचोगे 10 मिनट का ब्रेक लेते हैं, 10 मिनट में एक वीडियो देख लेते हैं. You, even if you think like that, we'll have a 10-minute break and we'll see a video of 10 minutes. You won't even realize एक शॉट से दूसरा शॉट, दूसरे शॉट से तीसरा शॉट, और एक वीडियो, from one video to another video, you are jumping and you are browsing again and again, and you won't even realize that you have spent 2 hours and where you were sitting only for 10 minutes. So don't distract yourself. Even if you want to take a break, take a healthy break, not a social media break. Okay. After examination, don't discuss the exam paper after coming out of the examination, because obvious hai. So people, some people who have not done it, they will say, अच्छा तुम्हें बन गया, you will feel कि you'll make it, they'll make you overconfident. Obviously, इतना भी नहीं बना तुम्हें, वह तो ये भी प्रॉब्लम है. Then they will के अच्छा मतलब how silly you are, your preparation is, that will decrease your confidence, that will break your confidence. So don't discuss. Whatever happened had happened, bygone. Now you're not having any control on that. So what to discuss on it? Let's focus on the upcoming papers. Okay. So all the best, students. Any query? Okay, Mansa was having, and Sumit is also having. Diwali festival is there on 31st and 1st November. How to deal with it? Oh, beta, even I am worried. If I get the question paper, I was also thinking that my Diwali festivals, Diwali, is, in our Indian culture, Diwali is not for one day. I agree. There are days, but some sacrifice you have to make when you want to achieve something. इट विल हैपन, बट जस्ट हैव अ फोकस. एक बार मेहनत कर लेते हैं, एक साल त्योहार छोड़ देते हैं, मिल जाएगा तो जिंदगी भर करेंगे, है ना, इंजॉय करेंगे इसको. सो वी हैव टू डील इट. इफ यू फील दैट कि घर में सेलिब्रेशंस होंगी, आस्क विथ, टॉक टू योर पेरेंट्स, टॉक टू द एल्डर्स एट योर होम, दैट इवन इफ यू आर सेलिब्रेटिंग, you can keep it low, or you can exclude yourself from that gathering for a long for some while. Okay, on those days, because your exam is there. That sacrifice you have to do. You cannot get both, na, a bird in hand and bird two in bush. You want this also, you want that. नहीं possible है. एक ही चीज मिलेगी, मेहनत करनी है, एक बार sacrifice कर लीजिए, है ना. Okay, Mainsa was asking some few technical questions which I was not replying during my session. Let me see. While computing the operating cycle, is it required to deduct the supplier payment period? Supplier payment period, we have to take into consideration credit period, not the supplier payment period. That is part of your operating cycle, so that you have to consider. Okay. Okay, Mansa is also asking few more questions. Okay, Mansa is asking, intangible asset is a non-monetary asset. Yes, in general, it is a non-monetary asset because one of the criteria of identifying it as an asset is that it has an economic useful life, or it will economic benefits will flow to you to the entity from that asset over the period of life. So definitely it has economic life, and it is having an economic life of more than a year. That's why the one of the qualifying criteria for recognition of an asset as an intangible asset or as an asset is that the benefits from that asset will flow to you over the period of time. So it will be a non-monetary asset. And instead, it can be identifiable through contractual rights or legal rights. Why monetary assets give us the contractual right to receive money? Does it mean intangible asset can arise from monetary assets also? Intangible assets, beta, it can arise from my. There's always a give and take process. You'll be giving monetary asset to acquire non-monetary asset. That is possible. That is there, but exactly what you want to receive money, it doesn't mean intangible assets can arise from monetary asset. Yes, you are giving one monetary asset to acquire in non-monetary asset, and that is intangible asset. That is also possible. It's okay. It is there. It can be done. The company is meeting net worth threshold limit for the first time on 31st March 2017. In days would be applicable in immediate next in 2018-19. No, why 2018-19? It will be applicable from 17-18. April 2017 to from beginning from April 2017, 18. As per ITFG Bulletin 1, or is it from next year in the year 2017, 18? See, basically, as per the roadmap, if your net worth criteria is met on 31st March 2017, then it is your India's applicability will start from 1st April 2017. So it will be applicable from 17-18. Okay. ITFG made 17 and is it from next year in 17-18? It will be from 17-18 beta. For me, it will be 17-18. Okay. ITFG bulletin में क्या दिया है? I would not be able to comment on that. Okay. So students, any other query you have, please ask it. You are having both the platform. Okay, one more question Neha is asking. When I study, I feel negative always that I will not pass. How to overcome it and be positive during my preparation? Whenever such thought comes, na, say, I enjoy it. I love this thought process. Even if, because you are having a negative thought, but you are saying you are enjoying it. Means you are positive about it. Na? You are accepting that thought. You are not trying to run away from that thought. So you are accepting that thought, and that is normal. That is normal. You are a human being. Such type of thoughts will come during the examination that I won't be able to perform, or I don't know, I don't remember anything. It is quite natural. So don't try to run away or don't try to feel sad because of that. Just enjoy that thought. Ki it is a normal human process that hormones comes and that secretes such type of hormones. So that okay, we'll do it. I'm I'm loving it. This thought process, I'm enjoying it. Let me just have this feeling. You'll realize after few days you won't have that thought. और आएगा भी ना तो इतना पैनिक नहीं करेगा आपको, because you आप now again positive, तो that negative thinking के लिए भी आप पॉजिटिव होने लग गए. तो पॉजिटिविटी तो बेटा एक बहुत बड़ा मेडिसिन है, लाइफ की हर बड़ी प्रॉब्लम्स को ओवरकम करता है. और ये नेगेटिव के लिए भी पॉजिटिव हो जाओगे ना, तो वो नेगेटिविटी भी कहीं एक पॉइंट क्या घट्टे 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 खत्म हो जाएगी. ओके. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Will definitely try. Even I did. See, Neha, let me tell you, I'm also a CA. I did 20 years back. I did my clear exam. I always used to say, everybody in my office used to say, घबराहट हो रही है. I say, I like that feeling. I like that feeling. Actual में नहीं होता था. शुरू में तो ऐसी कहती थी, लेकिन धीरे 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 I really felt कि हाँ, I am enjoying that feeling. So just try it. Even if you don't enjoy, say that you are enjoying. After a while, you'll believe in what you are saying, ना? ठीक है? Chalo. All the best, beta. Anything, any query you have, you may please ask. Still, I am there for another 2 minutes. Otherwise, we'll wind up. Okay? Thank, chalo. Thank you. All the best, beta. We'll be having another webinar also for this in the month of October. I believe we'll start with the 15th October. We'll be having another session. Okay. In case you have any queries, meanwhile, you go through the mock test paper. You'll be having second mock test paper also. Do attempt the mock test paper. And in case you have any problem, you can mail me beforehand. I'll try to take it in that webinar. Okay. This was a general webinar, but there we can be technical also. Okay. All the best. All the best, everybody. Thank you, students.